Closing reflection, the map and the territory. Over the course of this map, we have explored many of the forces quietly shaping human beings. Attachment, tribe, emotion, inherited narratives, borrowed desire, identity, self-deception, attention, comparison, social belonging, and the difficult possibility of increasing self-possession. But perhaps the most important realization is this: the map itself is not the territory. Every framework simplifies reality. Every worldview illuminates certain patterns while obscuring others. Every interpretation emerges through limitations of perspective, temperament, history, language, culture, biology, identity, and emotional orientation. Even the examined mind remains shaped while examining, including this map, especially this map. There is a temptation, when constructing any framework for understanding human life, to slowly begin mistaking the explanatory structure for reality itself. The mind naturally seeks coherence. Once a map begins organizing experience successfully, it becomes emotionally attractive to extend it everywhere. Patterns appear increasingly universal. Complexity collapses into interpretation. The framework starts feeling less like orientation and more like truth itself. This temptation never fully disappears, which is why humility matters so deeply. The purpose of this map was never to explain human beings completely. Human beings are too layered, contradictory, contextual, emotional, social, symbolic, biological, and mysterious for any final theory to fully contain them. No single framework can adequately capture the full complexity of consciousness, identity, meaning, love, suffering, desire, tribe, freedom, or the strange experience of being human. The goal here was something more modest, and perhaps more useful: orientation, an attempt to illuminate some of the hidden forces shaping the lives we often experience as consciously chosen, an attempt to increase awareness of the structures operating quietly beneath thought, emotion, identity, and perception, an attempt to participate more consciously in the shaping of a life. Nothing more final than that. Over time, I have come to suspect that the examined life is not really about arriving at perfect objectivity or complete self-transcendence. Human beings do not step outside the human condition entirely. We remain influenced by attachment, biology, tribe, fear, desire, narrative, memory, emotion, and social belonging throughout life. The observer never fully escapes the system being observed. And yet awareness still changes something. A person who notices their conditioning is not identical to a person fully possessed by it. A person who reflects before reacting inhabits life differently than one governed entirely by impulse. A person who distinguishes feeling from instruction, tribe from truth, performance from meaning, or borrowed desire from examined value gains a different relationship to the forces shaping them. Not perfect freedom, but increasing participation, increasing authorship, increasing coherence. This movement may appear subtle from the outside. Internally, it can change everything. Because much of human suffering emerges from unconsciousness. Inherited identities mistaken for essential selves, emotional reactions mistaken for truth, comparison mistaken for meaning, tribal loyalty mistaken for morality, performance mistaken for fulfillment, certainty mistaken for wisdom. The examined life does not magically eliminate these tendencies, but it introduces friction into them. Awareness interrupts automaticity. Reflection creates space. Humility softens certainty. Curiosity weakens rigid identity. Conscious attention reclaims portions of the self from unconscious possession. And perhaps this is enough. Perhaps the goal was never complete liberation from conditioning. Perhaps the goal is simply to become conscious enough to orient within life more honestly, to notice the house we woke up inside, to examine the maps we inherited before unconsciously spending an entire lifetime acting them out, to participate more consciously in the ongoing formation of the self, and to remain willing, even years later, to look again. Because the maps will continue evolving. Life changes perception. Suffering changes perception. Love changes perception. Aging changes perception. Loss changes perception. The things that once felt unquestionably true may later appear partial, emotionally motivated, overly rigid, incomplete, or blind to dimensions previously unseen. Some maps deepen with time, others soften, some fracture, some simplify, some reveal entirely new terrain. This is not failure. It is evidence of being alive. Perhaps wisdom lies less in finally arriving at certainty and more in remaining psychologically open enough to continue revising one's orientation while still fully participating in life. To hold conviction without rigidity, to belong without surrendering reflection, to feel deeply without becoming possessed by feeling, to pursue meaning without disappearing entirely into performance or comparison, to remain human while becoming slightly more conscious of what shapes human beings. That may be the deepest possibility available to us. Not transcendence from the human condition, but increasing awareness within it. And maybe in the end, that is what the examined life truly offers. Not final answers, not permanent awakening, not escape from uncertainty, only the ongoing invitation to participate more consciously in the mysterious process of becoming who we are.